Onibas Hussain here from FightHype.com, and I'm here with, before I say it, we're gonna talk about this on camera. So the knowledge Spencer Fearon. Spencer, how are we doing today?
No, I'm not knowledge no more. You gave that title to Max Kellerman. Don't try to bread me up now. You all sit in front of Max Kellerman, you all gas. I see all the cameras shaking and everything. I said, look at these little gas boys. Listen, furthermore, FightHype, I'll big up FightHype, but furthermore, don't send this man to come chat to me anymore. Send Raz.
You can't do that. Come on.
Send Raz. That's all I want to see. Don't send no next week. Come little bum boy business.
Spence, I apologise. You know, the whole episode's ended. You know, I apologise.
No, I'm joking, man. It's all good, man. I mean, it's all good.
What's happening? Tell me the latest, man. What's going down?
No, man. The same. We just getting hyped to see Joshua Parker. I think it's an excellent fight. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Everyone's going like, oh, it's a foregone conclusion. You know what I mean? Joseph Parker is a well-accomplished amateur, and he's also a man that's under very good tutelage. Kevin Barry is a very, very good trainer. Do you know what I mean? Guy fought Evander Holyfield in the '84 Olympics and beat Evander Holyfield, even though it was on disqualification. But he ended up working with Evander Holyfield in later life when Evander Holyfield was on his second reign as world heavyweight champion. So third reign as world heavyweight champion. So. You know, you got to give that's experienced people that you got around you. Do you know what I mean? In heavyweight boxing terminology, way more experienced than Robert McCracken.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they're American based. So they're picking up little tricks, and he's based himself out in America, so he's picking up little tricks out there. So, you know what I mean? This is not a foregone conclusion in the fight, man.
So when you say that, how does Joseph Parker beat Anthony Joshua on Saturday?
If Joseph Parker can commit to throwing combinations and then moving off, then it's all good. Because if you look at it, Anthony Joshua will set himself to throw big shots. He sets himself where he semi-plants his feet. Do you understand? Because he semi-plants his feet, and Anthony Joshua hasn't got the best head movement.
Okay.
Right? And I'm not saying that he can't move his head, because he actually can, because he proved that in the Klitschko fight when he goes down in, it was round 6, right? It was round 6 he goes down, round 6, where he was rolling on the insides and stuff like that. So Anthony Joshua actually has got good head movement, but he doesn't administer it regular. So it's not like he comes out and he's properly moving his head. Unlike like Dillian White on the weekend, Dillian White had proper perpetual head movement. I was very, very impressed with Dillian White. Even though to break the chain of conversation, but Anthony Joshua doesn't possess that. He's got it inside the locker though, but he doesn't demonstrate that when he's fighting.
Do you expect him to demonstrate extra skills? Like, for example, he's not shown that from what you're saying, but do you expect him to maybe possess that, show that, portray that in bigger fights like this Parker fight, like a Wilder fight?
This is not what you say. Like, we can't even don't look past Joseph Parker. I'm telling you again. I see Anthony Joshua being victorious in this fight, but it's not going to be easy because Joseph Parker's not a concussive puncher, right?
Yeah.
But he's got very, very good work rate, and I think that when you're dealing with a man that puts in combinations, and Anthony Joshua proved to me, was that 2014 when he stopped Michael Sprott, even though he's embryonic stage of his career, but just how he just it was like a burst on a heavy bag. If Anthony Joshua does a burst like that on anyone, I don't care who you are, you're done. Okay. You know what I mean? You are done, not partly done, you are completely and utterly done. And I think that Anthony Joshua could do it. If he bites down his gum shoulder and lets him hands go, you're finished. And he's got a belief system. His belief system is very, very high. And what I'm saying is this: when you believe in your belief so much, it becomes your reality. He is portraying his reality right now.
And obviously after this fight, there's a lot of talk about the Wilder fight. You've spoken quite highly of Deontay Wilder. We spoke just a couple of days ago. How does Wilder then, going off his last performance, or his last couple of performances, how does he beat Anthony Joshua? He'd have to land. That's the bottom line. He'd have to go out there and look to land after trying to dominate Anthony Joshua with a jab. So he'd have to throw out that hard jab, and he jab is hard. He'd have to throw out that hard jab. But the thing about it is like Anthony Joshua is very, very smart of doing a right hand over the top counter, as we saw Allard when he fought Charles Martin, right? So, but he'd have to try and dominate with a jab and trigger that jab and snap it, and he's got a snappy jab. It's similar to like when the first Bermane Stiverne fight, when he opted to box, he'd have to do that, then lay in with hard shots just to make Anthony Joshua behave himself. But the thing about it is like, I think Deontay Wilder hasn't got the best chin neither. So if Anthony Joshua clips him on that chin, then his free papers burnt to a cinder. That's what makes it a great fight. But going off the Ortiz fight, he got hit really hard and he seemed to survive and he came back from that. What do you take from that?
Ortiz is a very well schooled fighter, but Ortiz is nowhere near the punching power of Anthony Joshua.
Okay.
Nowhere remotely close to Anthony Joshua. I just want you to know that.
All right, and then obviously going off Saturday night, Dillian White beat Lucas Brown convincingly. How does he fit into the equation? First of all, he's put himself into maybe a mandatory shot with against Deontay Wilder. If he doesn't fit, it's AJ next. How do you see that fight going?
Well, what?
Dillian White and Deontay Wilder, if they would
Listen to me, yeah? If I was Dillian White, I'm going to be real. Because I spoke to Dillian on Saturday morning, and we also spoke at length on Sunday.
Yeah.
If I was Dillian White, I wouldn't even be in a rush to fight Deontay Wilder. Do you know why? Because now we're getting to see Dillian White, what he could do, which people who know Dillian from a long time knew that he could perform like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I said to Dillian, it's going to take about 5 fights. I think this is his 5th or 6th fight now with Mark Tibbs before they build that proper camaraderie in that relationship. And he's got that now. So I'm seeing Dillian is so vastly improved now, man. Seriously, I'm really, I was very, very impressed with him. I don't want to hear that excuse about Lucas Brown, because we're in Sky right now, and a lot of the Sky guys in here were thinking, boy, look, it's a serious thing. A lot of the guys who I rate their opinion, they were saying to me, Lucas Brown could cause the upset, but it wouldn't be an upset. Do you understand? And nobody thought that Dillian White could box like that. And the thing about it is this, look at the repertoire of shots that Dillian White was throwing in that fight, right? You ain't seen no heavyweight throw them kind of punches. Period. Very, very well scored, weren't wasting no shots. Do you know what I mean? Was being very committal with the jab, and when he was being committal with the jab, he throw right uppercuts over there. His timing was superfluous. So I'm saying, like, very, very good, very, very good win for Dillian White. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no rush for the Deontay Wilder fight. Reason being, because I'm saying you could round your skills even more. And him boxing on the performance, Deontay Wilder's different. Listen, Deontay Wilder's a murderous puncher. Don't get twisted by that. And you can't get that guy an inch on the shots. But I've seen Deontay Wilder get outboxed. That's it. I've seen him get outboxed by lesser men that Dillian White can handle. So Dillian White's in with a hell of a chance of beating Deontay Wilder. But in saying that, if Deontay Wilder hits Deontay Wilder hits anyone, he's going to kill him. Trust me, that guy's like I said, he's Killermonger from Black Panther. He's such a dangerous man.
Just want a bit of a history lesson from yourself. Obviously, the heavyweight division is booming at this present time. But what, in your eyes, was the best era?
The 70s, no doubt about it. The 70s was the best era for heavyweight boxing. Do you understand? Because you had a comeback in Muhammad Ali after he. Imagine this time there. Right? When people were all talking about these equal rights and all the rest of it, blah, 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 blah. At the time when Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston in 1964, February 25th, Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, right? Or he was Nation of Islam, so he was Cassius X. He wasn't even allowed to vote. Work that one out. He weren't allowed to vote. He flipped the page 4 years after, and then 4 years after that, they wanted him to go to war. Even though by then, Lyndon Johnson with Martin Luther King, they got into the legislation where the civil rights movement was in full effect and they were allowed to vote, right? That came in between 65 and 66, and at that time, then they were allowed to vote. So you're eligible, allowed to vote. So at that time, the black man has been in America for some 325 years, and you wasn't allowed to vote. But they wanted him to go travel and go murder innocent people, you know what I mean, and go kill innocent people who ain't done him nothing. And like he said, no Viet Cong never called me no N-word. I'm saying, right, that's power to the people. So, but from when he came back as the deposed heavyweight champion, it was only Great Britain that still, the British Border Control, that's where you have to props him. The British Border Control were there was about 8 sanctioning bodies that still recognized him as the heavyweight champion, and they never accepted all the rest of the champions that they did because they had this box off, and Joe Frazier won the New York State Athletic Commission version of the title. Then he ended up fighting Jimmy Ellis. And they had a round robin where they all had this tournament. Floyd Patterson was inside the tournament. They had so many different fighters inside the tournament. And Joe Frazier won it, become undisputed champion. But then when they fought, when Ali and Frazier fought, incredible. Then you had Ali fight Ken Norton, lose to Ken Norton, come back and beat Ken Norton. You had good guys like George Travalo, good guys like Jimmy Ellis, good guys, really good fighters who were around them times there. Jerry Quarry, Floyd Patterson. You know what I mean? These guys were great fighters, man. Do you understand? So where could we look in history where we had them all pocketed at one time, like great fighters at one time that most probably if they're around today they'd be heavyweight champion of the world?
Yeah.
Where? You can't look in history. You look and think, they'd be very, very difficult. You know what I mean? At the time when Rocky Marciano was reigning, Rocky Marciano, no disrespect to him, great man, legend. He beat old men though. Do you understand? Ezra Charles weren't no heavyweight. Ezra Charles was just so talented and never got his shot at light heavyweight that he moved up and became heavyweight champion after beating Judge Joe Walker. And that was after the time. That was after the time when Joe Louis retired, and then Joe Louis tried to come back and fight, and then Ezra Charles schooled him. So that like 50 to 51. 52, and keep on going. Then Rocky Marciano comes in, and he was just a monster. And then Rocky Marciano retires. He retires, and so we go like from 1956. Then Floyd Patterson comes in. Floyd Patterson beats the man that floored Rocky Marciano in Archie Moore, who's a fantastic fighter. You young kids go and watch Archie Moore. He's just mad skillful. You know what I mean? And he's got the highest knockout ratio of any fighter of all times, right? When Floyd Patterson was champion, we think, boy, but then you had a real killer in Sonny Liston who come around. And when Sonny Liston came around, Sonny Liston was the real bad man. I think that Sonny Liston had one of the best jabs. He had a pole-axing jab. One of the best jabs ever in not just in heavyweight boxing, but in boxing per se. His jab was ramrod. I would get Anthony Joshua to study someone like a Sonny Liston. So when you look at history, the 70s was the hot period for when you had guys who they could fight, man. They could fight. Just see like what. Just imagine how in the 70s they could fight so much that the baddest man there in George Foreman, 20 years after becoming heavyweight champion of the world, could become heavyweight champion again. Right. So you got to think. So to me, the 70s was the best time, was the best era. 80s, Larry Holmes was just disciplined, and Larry Holmes was very, very talented. And people never gave Larry Holmes the credit that he should have been given because he came just after Ali, and he also beat Ali, so a lot of people weren't really forgiving him. And Ali was like as dead as anything. It was like October 1980. Ali was dead as anything. Do you understand? There was, what was it? Jerry Zishringer, this famous writer, was saying that Ali was trying to walk up the steps at Caesar Palace to do a workout, and he couldn't even walk up the steps properly. He was that gone. Sad, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But Larry Holmes, you know what I mean, 20 defenses as world heavyweight champion. That's mad, right? Right at a time when these guys could fight. You know what I mean? Guys were like looking to look at, man. But also in the 80s, cocaine was big. Okay. So a lot of these great fighters just went to the wayside. You know what I mean? I wonder what if Tony Tubbs was being disciplined, never had no eating disorders or drug problem. I wonder what Tim Witherspoon, who never had no eating disorder and drug display, what he would drink, what he would have done. There's so many good fighters there. When Mike Tyson came into play, every man knew that if you want to fight, you had to be in shape. Do you understand? And that's the great thing about the game. I love this game, and our producer's just coming up now because I got to go do my show.
Thank you very much, Spence.
Appreciate that. Cool.
Man.